Guest. We don't usually do interviews in the first segment of the show, but with our friend Steve Deace, Michigan podcast, Michigan Wolverine insider, and with the news of Sherron Moore getting in trouble and getting fired yesterday, and it's one of the biggest jobs in the country, we had to get Deace on the show. Steve Deace, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds show. Did you know that this was going to happen yesterday?
I did not know that it was going to happen yesterday. I've been operating under the assumption that it was 50-50 for about 3 months. And it was really just a matter of, these rumors had been swirling for months. I mean, I first heard these rumors from a former player months ago, and that the whole team knew, and it was an open secret. I checked with some of my sources. They're like, yeah, these rumors are all over the place and have been for a while. I was in Ann Arbor at the end of October, early November. It was constantly talked about and discussed. The rumors were abounded for sure. Now, given this, the sensitivity of the subject matter, Bo, that's not something you're going to run to your site to report like, hey, I heard that we're going to fire this coach for poor performance or get this recruit, right? This is, the kind of stuff that causes, frankly, reactions you saw from Sherron last night, where there's just no other way to put it. He had a breakdown.
Right.
And last I heard, he was in a county jail, on protective custody, if nothing else, suicide watch. So, it was a matter of, would somebody crack, would somebody talk and provide confirmation of its truth during an investigation? Because with these kinds of rumors, I kind of figured at the very least the affair was true.
Right.
Whether there was a power dynamic, whether she was coerced and all the other stuff that would cause you to be fired. Although at this day and age, sex with a subordinate in any workplace can get you fired, consensual or not, with the whole power dynamic thing, right? So I thought there was a chance. Yeah.
Steve Deace at Michigan podcast. We've had him on several times over the years, and Sherron Moore is gone from Michigan, and now they'll be in a search. So Ward Manuel will, and obviously he screwed up, but you also want him to be okay mentally and physically. Good Lord, with the way that thing turned yesterday. Moving forward, as the search starts today, do you have like 2 or 3 realistic people that you think will be strongly considered? Deace?
Well, there's a board of regents meeting today, and I'm operating under the assumption it will address Ward Manuel and what he knew and when did he know it. Because the initial investigation found nothing wrong, and then in the last 24 hours, that changed. So I think they'll want to verify that. Ward has hired a football coach who had a personal meltdown, a basketball coach who had on-court meltdowns, and then, after a heart attack, just could not recover. And then our previous hockey coach had his own scandal here too. Now, his last few hires have been incredible. Dusty May is number 1, number 2 in basketball. Brandon Naurato is number 1 in hockey. That's an important sport at Michigan, like baseball is for you guys down south.
Yeah.
And our women's basketball team is top 5 in the country,
Nice.
right? So I think he's going to have to make sure he is secure first. But I also think this will be something that you guys are used to down there. But for the first time, I think this is going to be a largely donor-led search. You guys have had those for years because, as Ed Orgeron recently said, you guys were paying guys out the back door, and whoever's running the payroll is running the show.
Right.
That's how business works.
Right.
Okay. Well, now that we're doing this all in the front door, as Ed pointed out, okay, same thing's true up here. Sherron had already lost our donors; they were already out, so they didn't need much of a push from this investigation anyway.
Right.
So my understanding is that our donors are they're going to make Kalen DeBoer say no. They're going to make him say no before we hire somebody else. That's my understanding.
Okay. That'd be a good one.
And he wanted this job 2 years ago, and probably if Jimmy had left, sooner or let it be known right away he was out, might have been hired at that point. But it's the bird in the hand, 2 in the bush kind of thing. If you want the Michigan job at Alabama calls, can you gamble that away? Right. Okay.
Right.
I also think that if this investigation had fired Sherron a week ago, I think Matt Campbell would be the next coach at Michigan. He was almost hired 5 years ago when Jimmy was almost fired for that performance. I live in Iowa, so I know that program very, very well. It's an open secret in coaching circles. That's always been a job that Campbell has coveted as an Ohio guy, but now he's off the market. So I believe Michigan's going to make Kalen DeBoer say no. Jed Fish has coached at Michigan before. You're going to see a common denominator, guys who are offensive guys, because, of course, you want to keep and develop Bryce Underwood.
Right.
So I think Jed Fish is very high on the list, the Washington coach. Now, the question about him is, could he recruit at this level? He just signed one of the best classes that Washington has ever signed. They're number 15 right now in the recruiting ranking. So he kind of answered that. I'll give you a dark horse. Personally, I'd call Joe Brady with the Buffalo Bills and make him tell me no first. That's what I would personally do.
Okay.
But Kalen DeBoer would be high on my list. Clark Lee would be high on my list because I see Clark Lee as Lloyd Carr if he believed in an air raid offense. Clark Lee is a gritty, tough, physical-minded coach, but believes in innovative offense. That's like a perfect fit for us. But again, I love DeBoer. I think that'd be a great hire. But keep your eye on Kenny Dillingham. He fits the Dusty May profile for Michigan. Mm-hmm. We got Dusty May the year after his big breakthrough as a young coach when he took Florida Atlantic to the Final Four. And then the next year they had all those expectations, and not everything went right. But sometimes the coach, you learn a lot through that. And I think you're seeing Dusty May right now learned a ton of what it was like to manage those kinds of expectations at a program the year after their breakthrough, and that helped prepare him for Michigan. Arizona State's kind of had the same thing. They had that huge breakthrough 2 years ago. The next year, this year they had the quarterback injury and some other stuff, and he still managed them to a very, very good season overall. Young, very aggressive, and an offensive whiz. I would keep your eye on him as a dark horse.
All right, I got 30 seconds. Does Dan Mullen or Brett Bielema do anything for you? I think they're both damn good coaches.
Yeah, I don't think Mullen. Mullen wouldn't be terrible. Bielema has a Big Ten non-compete in his contract, so I don't see that happening.
Okay.
But Mullen, I think, is in case of glass or in case of emergency, break glass. I could see.
Okay. All right, Steve Deace at Michigan Podcast on Twitters, and we appreciate the time today, my man. Thank you.
You got it, brother. Go Blue.
Steve Deace on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Michigan Wolverine insider Sherron Moore is out. That's one of the biggest jobs in the country. They've actually won a national championship a couple of years ago, as we know. Unbelievable run by Harbaugh. And then he flipped the Ohio State-Michigan series, which needed to happen. And now they are looking for a head coach. And Kalen DeBoer, I agree with him on Matt Campbell if he had not taken the Penn State job. And we'll see what Jed Fish or Dillingham or Mullen. If Bielema's got a Big Ten non-compete, then that's off. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, the Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. We want to know who's listening right now. 601-885-3776.